Hello, everybody. Welcome to another day of online learning. I bet you guys are super excited. All right. So, actually, this is my second video. I made a mistake, but not really. I just forgot I changed the number when I was writing it down. So, I'm doing it over again, and I'm too lazy to rewrite the problem because I don't have a printer. So, we're just tearing off a piece of paper and doing it again. Okay, so this was the type of problem that you guys on this actual unit when we did it. This was the one that you guys all took a rain check on and decided to not do or kind of fudge. But this was the one that you guys struggled with the most, basically. And this is kind of your typical quadratic type of story problem that you would encounter. In your lives. Let's get to it. So Mrs. Nebeker is framing her daughter's art project. She wants to frame it with a uniform border, meaning it's the same length across each side. And she wants it to have a rectangular area of 288 inches squared when it is finished. Her daughter's art project occupies an area of 10 inches wide and 12 inches long. How wide will the border be? So there's a problem similar to this on your homework. I've changed the numbers a little bit, so it won't be the exact same. So don't write down these answers for your answers. Okay. But how we're going to approach this, just like we do any story problems as we get further and further in math, what we need to start off with is drawing a picture to visualize it. So we're just going to start off. We have the art project right here. And that's more of a square than a rectangle, but it's 10 inches wide, 12 inches long. Use your imagination. Okay, then we're going to add a border that is uniform in length, meaning it's the same length wide. So this is X inches long, this is X inches long, and this is X inches long, this is X inches long. Okay. That's what our final project is going to end up looking like. We're going to have the art project and then a border that goes along the outside. So the area of all of this together is going to equal 288 inches squared, right? So to find the area of everything together, we're going to set up how long it is times how wide or high it is, right? Base times height, however you want to think of it. So if we look at the base here, the length, this part is 12 inches, right? This is X inches, this is X inches. There's two of them right here on the how long it is, right? There's two X's. So the length is 12 plus 2X, right? 12 plus 2X. The height or the width or however you want to think of it, this is 10 and then it has an X and an X as well. So this would be 10 plus 2X. So 12 plus 2X times 10 plus 2X is going to equal 288 inches. So this is why a lot of you guys kind of took this one off, because it takes a little bit of work to get to where you can even use the quadratic formula. You got to distribute, combine like terms, move some stuff around so that it's equal to 0, all that stuff. But that also isn't very hard to do. Okay, so you just do some multiplying here. 12 times 10 is 120. 12 times 2x would be 24x. 2x times 10 is 20x. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Move some stuff around, combine like terms, we're going to have 4x squared plus 44x plus 120 is equal to 288. Now, we're going to move the 288 to the other side because it has to be equal to 0. And my final quadratic here is 4x squared plus 44x minus 168 equals 0. Now, since I have it in the quadratic form here, I can use the quadratic formula. Remember, you get two answers for the quadratic formula. Now, one of these is going to be positive, one of them is going to be negative. Since I'm dealing with distance or length here, you can't have negative length, right? So the negative answer is not going to be my answer. I'm just going to toss that one out. I just want the positive answer. So I'm going to set up my quadratic formula here. It's negative b, so negative 44. And that's what I messed up on my other example. It turned into just a 4. Plus or minus the square root of 44 squared, which is 1,936, minus 4 times a, which is 4, times c, which is negative 168, and I'm out of room, all over 2 times 4, which is 8. Okay. Now, we're going to multiply and combine here. So negative 4 times negative 168 is 2,688. Add that to 1,936. And I'm going to get negative 44 plus or minus square root of 4,624 all over 8. So the square root, 4,624 is 68. So negative 44 plus or minus 68 all divided by 8. Okay. Now, if I were to do negative 44 minus 68, I'm going to get a negative answer, right? So we're going to focus on the adding. Negative 44 plus 68 is 24. 24 divided by 8 is going to be 3. X is equal to 3. Now, before I finish and say, hey, that's my answer, I'm going to check it. So if I do 12 plus 2 times 3, that'd be 6. I would get 18. And then I would get 16 here, right? 16 times 18 is 288 inches. So each of these borders has to be 3 inches long in order for that problem to work. Okay. Now, let's look at another problem. So this one, it's going to be the same idea. We're going to picture it after we're done reading it. So Miss Gearhart is making a triangular poster that has a base that is 10 inches longer than its height. The area is 72 inches. Find the length of the height and the base. So I don't know the length of the height or the base, but I know the final area is going to be 72. To find the area of a triangle, it's 1/2 base times height, right? So the height, or let's see, the base is 8 inches longer than the height, right? So if x is my height, well, let's just use h for height. Then the base would be height plus 8, right? Now to find the area, it's height base times height, all divided by 2, right? It's 1/2 of base times height. So we're going to start by getting rid of the 2 by multiplying it times 2. We're going to have height times height plus 8 equals 144. Then we're going to distribute, and we're going to get height squared plus 8 times the height equals 144. And then we're going to move it over so that it's in quadratic form. So height squared plus 8h minus 144 equals 0. And then we can use the quadratic formula. Again, I'm going to get a negative answer and a positive. I want the positive answer. So B, we have A, B, and C, right? A is 1, B is 8, C is negative 144. So set it up, it would be negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 64 minus 4 times 1 times negative 144 all divided by 2. Okay, so negative 4 times negative 144 is 576 plus 64 is 640. So I have negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 640 all divided by 2. So square root of 640, and I've done something wrong. What did I do wrong? Oh. Well, what did I do? -4 times -144 is 576 plus 64 is 640. That's right. What did I do wrong? Oh, it's 10 inches longer. That's a 10. That's right, I fudged the numbers. Okay, sorry. I figured it out. So 10 would make that -10, and this would be 100. And then 576 plus 100, 676, and the square root of 676 is 26. Okay, sorry. I figured it out. I just was kind of going off of, I only fudged half the numbers. Okay, so 10, so that's 676 there, which is the square root of that is 26. So I have -10 plus or minus 26 all over 2. All right, so if I do -10 minus 26, I'm going to get a negative number. I don't want that. I want the positive one. So -10 plus 26 would be 16 divided by 2 is going to be 8. So the height is equal to 8. The base is 10 inches longer, so the base would be 18 inches. And that would be your 2 answers. All right, there you go.